The jobs I need to do, starting off just in this wee spot here, is this post is gone. So just help it along the way. And then this post here is taking a lot of strain. It's all right, it'll hold another wee while yet, but I'm worried about this one. Because if this one goes, well, the whole fence is going to fall down and the cows will go everywhere. But that one actually, that was not cracking, that was okay for a while. So this is the one we need to replace. So I don't need to use the heavy one. I can use one of these here. That'll do my job just nicely right there. Insulators on, these egg insulators on wrong my entire life. A few people spotted it on YouTube and told me what I was doing. I realised then the mistake I was making. I just didn't know beforehand. I was just used to doing it the wrong way, not knowing any difference. Beforehand I was always putting the wire in this hole and then putting the next wire in that one. But instead this is the way it's supposed to go here. And it gets more, it actually makes sense when you think about it. Now the ones I put on before wrong, they've never deteriorated, they've never cracked, never had an issue with them, but there is a wrong way and a right way, and knowing which is which now, I'll do it the right way. Now I know these are not knotted correctly. I know you loop, pull it up through here and then you spin it, but there's no tension on what I'm going to be pulling here, very, very little. If there was a high tension on it, I would knot it the correct way, but again, it's just something that's never loosened. So I'll just hook up a wire here. Alright, so that's the first job of the day done. Then take this out rotten by with me here for company and tackle on to the next one. Well, if you remember, our cow's gone out for the first time. They went in here and they hit off this post and broke it straight away. So I put a little post alongside it just to hold it, keep it standing for now, but it needs to be replaced. That old high intensity wire, it's as stubborn. It doesn't want to bend, it just wants to break. There goes our post anyway. You see how determined it was to lay down, so we'll take this one out as well. All right. Alright, so I've also been up at the top of this field here replacing a couple of the pencil posts for our paddock system. But here is the main job done. We have a new strong post in there, the wire is back up. This is what I use instead of the egg insulators, a much, much better job. We stuck another pencil post in there and that should keep that electric right. Alright, so next job we're going to do is we're tipping over here. We've got the mower in the back, if you can see it. That little mower hasn't been on the tractor in quite a while. That mower there replaced a major topper that we had, an offset topper. First of all, we had a little offset topper, a little Abbey one. Great for backing in underneath fences and things. I really regretted I sold it. It was good for that job. You were driving on what you were topping. And I found if it was kind of heavy stuff at all, after a week or more, you'd start to see a wee line starting to come up. So we bought a fully offset major topper, a really old one I bought. It was only a few £100. I done a hell of a lot of work on it, fixing it up, as old as the hills, and sprayed the whole thing and made actually a great job of it. And we used that major topper that I bought for, I think, about €500 and got 7 good years out of it. That's all. So I bought this at least 10 years or more ago. It's probably that at least, when I was 18 years old. That'll be right. If you are farming, especially if you're dairy farming and you're using a conventional topper, if you're changing over, consider a mower. And you can blame me if it doesn't work out, because I promise you it will. And I notice a lot of farmers in my area have converted to the same. It's not battering the grass, it's cutting it. I found in our paddocks at home anyway, and I can only speak from my own experience, our paddocks got thicker, we got a much better grass coming, the quality of it was much better, all down to this machine right here. But the reason I'm mentioning it is that this mower hasn't been used nearly at all last year. Normally, we'd have it out around the first week in May, and we'd be finished using it around about the middle of September. But last year, because it was so wet, we just could not get into our fields. So it only got used for about a week last year, which is hard to believe. Just paddocks could not hold a tractor. I'm coming through here and we're heading for the 1st of June very shortly, but fields are definitely wet. Now this paddock here looks a right old mess. The heifers have just grazed it out. It was a heavy cover that was on it. So the reason there's so many docks on it, and by the way, it's only on this side, we didn't get to spray them this springtime, and that was just down to it being wet again. And by the time the weather did kind of change and the ground started to dry up, there was too much grass on it, it needed to be grazed, so we had to leave it. Now this paddock was sprayed in early May of last year for docks, with Dock Star is what we used. I'm surprised that it came back so aggressively again. I'm going to top it out now. I'm going to come back then later on this evening off camera and sow these two paddocks here, because our heifers are now moved on to the back one, and get them moving again. Right, this is the yoke I want to fix really quick here. So this is my other battery fence. I have two of these, and this is the one I haven't used. Well, it's been a couple of years since this one's been used anyway. And these fences you can't buy in the shop, by the way. They're a local man, well not local, he's in County Monaghan that makes them. They're reliable, and I can just tip up the road and get them fixed. That's why it's so handy. Bite marks, not fully through, but on the other one is covered in bite marks. And I think what's doing that, it's foxes. I know I've put some of these out in fields before and I've left them for a long time. Some sort of an animal is biting them, and large teeth as well, nice strong teeth marks, so I'd say it's a fox. The earth all rusted as well. It does take away from it, believe it or not. Having the whole thing corroded away like that takes away from it. So we're just going to clean everything up. I'd say it's been a few years since this one's out. I need to go and buy some new hooks for them. I used to have different ones of these that had a deeper body that would take a big square battery, but I wanted these ones because these ones run on a car battery. I had a few car batteries laying around and I find it works much better, lasts much longer anyway. Of all the standing nails I have, I can't find one of them. Just check to see is this one all rusted out, because I'm feeling it is, but the amount of dirt that's stuck on it. So these are two that attach onto the battery. There's no jaw clamp on this one at all. I'd say the last time I probably taped it to the terminal of the battery, but I want to fix that. This is a couple of out clips here, and these came off an old battery charger. They're better quality than the ones that were on these in the first place. I just chopped them off the charger when I dumped it, so we'll make use of these. So these are little solder joints. It's just like shrink wrap with a ring of solder in the middle. Very handy for joining auto wires and stuff like that. But what I like to do is I like to melt them, and even when they're attached, put shrink wrap over that. It just gives it a little bit of extra protection, because I feel this shrink wrap here can be quite flimsy and sometimes the wire can pierce through it. Right, she'll live another day. Alright, so we're over here at the cottage. We're not working on the cottage today, sorry for dashing your hopes, but we're going to run a fence around this cottage here, just a temporary fence. Bring it from behind them thistles, there's a pier there, and bring it up right tight to this street the whole way around. And our heifers then in here, and they're going to graze all of this area out. And they'll get a week, probably a good week in here, and they'll clean the whole thing out. There's a little quick question for you, someone might know the answer. If I sprayed this whole street here with Roundup back about a month ago, and it killed all the weeds, bar these things here. These things here seem to thrive when you spray Roundup. It nearly seems to feed them. So anybody knows what that is and how you kill it even better again, let me know. So if everywhere at home is covered in that whole thing, and Roundup doesn't seem to have any effect on it. I have two posts that I drove in here the other day very badly driven, I will add. They're very crooked. This ground's very, very hard to get in at as well, the post driver. I do need to put a permanent fence around this cottage and fence this site off correctly and leave it that it's finished with and there's no messing around like I'm doing here today. Another thing as well is we have a fence over there, 600, 700 yards above us, and I want to be able to bring that mains electric fence the whole way around here and connect it into that field that's below the cottage where the calves are. And that way we wouldn't have to use a battery fence really at all. And it'd mean it'd be on all the time. You wouldn't get a nasty surprise on a Sunday morning at 9 o'clock when your calves is in the bog. That's never happened, just saying. Now before someone says it, because I know they will, say, Adrian, you sure you couldn't go any tighter to the door? Is that the calving man in you? It's not the calving man in me. They're two very important things for an animal to have. One of them is drinking water. Obviously, drink is very important for animals. Second thing is the toilet. Every animal, just like ourselves, they need a toilet. And having access in there to use that one, I just thought made more sense, you know? That's the reason for that. All right, so just stuck a brick and a stone on it there to hold it. I can do damn all more. The ground's too hard, but it was on there and it's running. I did test it. And I know there's a good stinger of it. And trust me, half the country behind me knows I did test it and there's a good sting of it. All right, now we need to fix this drinker. First of all, I'll get rid of that nettle. Decided to stick itself in a very bad spot. Problem with this drinker is that it's always leaked. Hence the reason it's always empty. There's lots of spiders in there. Not afraid of spiders. Keep telling yourself that. I didn't realise the water was on, so I'll just start this all over again by turning the water off. So let's try that again now with the water off. Off you come. Now, try to get this valve out. Well stuck in there. I'm just going to screw it off here to get a proper look at them. So there it is, what I'm looking at there. And I'm none the wiser, but I'm pretty sure this guy should come out. There you go, it's out. So first thing I notice is it's very dirty. So we're going to wash that in some really clean water. That's it all nice and sterile now. The rubber doesn't look to be damaged. A lot of dirt in that there actually. I was told about a little trick that I should do with this that might be the reason why it's sticking. Now I'm not going to talk too much about why I'm carrying a tub of Vaseline, because I already explained it to Sinead at home and I don't think she fully believed me, so you're just going to have to watch and you can do the narrating yourself. A wee bit in here too. Right, I've done that a few times. Let's see, it's going in and out now, alright. My God, Jesus Christ. But it's in now, and it's doing what it's supposed to do, hopefully better than what it was. Right, just fire that back on. Alright, this seal, it's got a groove in it, but I think that groove is supposed to be in it. There's the new one there, and it also has that groove in it too, so this one doesn't look too bad. Bit of a dimple there, I suppose. We're told to put some of this on this also. I'm just doing what I was told. This side goes up. Then you put it back on the right threads. Not like my first 3 attempts. This by here should fit in now, I think. Right or wrong? Right. So I'm going to leave that like that. I'm going to go down and turn on the water here. See if does this work at all, or have I made a worse job of it. Right, so that's it running there now. Oh, I think it's working. So we're just going to have to let it fill up and see what it does, and that drinker's going to take quite a while to fill up. By the time our water gets up to here, the whole way from way down that road, probably hard for you to see, and the wind doesn't make it any easier for me to hold the camera. By the time it gets to here from the meter, it's the weakest point of water, especially if there's cattle over there drinking. So it'll probably take a while for that to fill. I'll come over in the morning and check it. Worth a try before we change the valve out. Probably one of the second or third videos I ever made was fitting that drinker, because there used to be a massive big tree here, and then Storm Ophelia came along and took the lone tree out of it, just broke it out of it, so we ended up having to dig the root of it out, and I put a drinker in its place. And I've already replaced the valve twice already on it. This is the third valve. Right, so now with them drinkers fixed, I want to let these ladies over here into this field. And it should be quite handy, but unfortunately, the way I have my gates laid out, that gate over there, there's a little bit of a corner that the animals have a habit of running into. If you don't let them all out together or get them all to come out together, they'll end up getting stuck in that little corner there. That's what I'm pointing at. And ones will run out the gate, they'll run down here, and the other ones will run the far side of that wire and create a bit of a nuisance to themselves and maybe try to break through the wire. So I tend to go into the field and bring the heifers over to the other side of the corner of that paddock, and then come back, and then they'll follow me out through the gate. Get them out of this side here altogether. That works sometimes. Last year our heifers were the most awkwardest heifers to move that we've ever had. They were very clever in the way you were doing things. So they could work out what you were trying to do, and they were a nightmare to get into the crush. I think these ones here are a wee bit more obliging. There's no major ringleaders among them, so hopefully, fingers crossed, they come out without any hassle. Right. So just going to bring this gate across here to stop them going into the yard. Come on, come on. Yeah, see, that's what I want. Come on, down this corner here. Come on, come on. A cup of tea on, come on. I just need to get the gate opened. Let them run and by it. That might work. Sorry, camera's probably all over the place. So far, so good. Now, walk down in front of them here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. So this is our silage ground. I've never done any video on the slurrying. I think people are sick of watching videos of silage and slurrying at this stage, and I certainly didn't want to put you through that again. So we'll skip on to this kind of work here, which I enjoy the most anyway. I hate being stuck on a tractor. There's a lot of them on the lane net that haven't come out, and I'm wondering could I tip in behind them, and one of them went back into the field. So this is slowly going downhill. So that's the brat of the bunch there. It's amazing the way they'll hide in that corner and pretend that they don't. You nearly believe them that they don't know how to get out. They know how to get out. They just don't want to. That's the problem. Here she's here. Oh, she's way over the field. There's always one. One head in use. Come on, way in. Come on, way on, way on. We have one more to get. One troublemaker. We're going to wait. Well, you're not going to wait. I'm going to wait. Look who it is. You know, she was playing games and she realised nobody cared about her games. And then she didn't want to be on her own all of a sudden. So now if that was my dad here, there'd be F's and blinds and everything going on. But I found over the years, just stay away from them. Sit and is amazed what they can do. Oh, she's a devil and she's mad to get jumping over the hedge. And I can see every time she goes to it, she's getting a wee bit more tempted to jump over the hedge. So I'm going to have to go into the field and chase after this one. Patience doesn't always work. So rather than me following her, it's always a better option for her to follow me. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, in you get. Oh, Jesus.
Charges may apply.
We are missing some cattle. Jesus, such a difference this morning. Take it easy. They've been picked up by your mother at a party at 5 o'clock in the evening when the crack's only getting going. Never a nice phone call to get when your cattle are missing.